Hello, happy Monday. This is Emily, obviously, coming to you guys live to talk about everything taxes. Now, I know if you're watching this part, you're probably catching the recording, so go ahead and drop replay in the comments so I know who tuned in and who watched the replay. Hey Felicia, our newest star consultant. So, I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to get on. Happy October. What's today? We have 2 days left in October. That is crazy. So we have 2 days left in October, and then it is November, which is like probably our busiest month of the year. November and the first couple weeks of December are the busiest times of the year. And if this is your first year doing Sensi, you're about to find that out. Or if it's maybe your first year going gangbusters with Sensi, you're going to find that out. I know that taxes is probably not the most exciting topic to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. I actually got this request from a newer consultant on our team, and I was like, you know what, that's a really good idea because we don't talk about it very often, and it's important. So I think I'm just going to jump right in, and if people tune in late, they can catch the replay later. I only have about a half an hour, and I usually like to keep the video until under 30 minutes anyways. So I am just going to jump right in and tell you everything you guys need to know about taxes and Sensi. So the first and, one of the most common questions I get about Sensi and taxes is, will I get a W-2? And the answer is no. So you will actually get a 1099 from Sensi at the end of the year. It's usually loaded into our workstation in January. And you will not get one if you sold less than $600. So $600 is the breaking point where if you I said that wrong. If you made $600 or more in this year, then you will get a 1099 for that income from Sensi. If you made less than $600, then they will not send you one and you don't need to do anything with your taxes. So that's the first question. You're going to get a 1099 if you made $600 or more in the month of in this year for your Sensi income. Now, let's see, I'm trying to read her questions and make sure I answer them all, and also looking at my personal notes about how to organize your taxes. So you guys know that you are like an independent consultant and you have to manage your receipts and your expenses the same way any regular business would handle that, which means that's what you want to do anyways, because that means you get more money back from the government when you claim the write-offs on your taxes. So I actually know people who have joined Sensi for no other reason than they love the product and they needed tax write-offs. So it is a great way to have more tax write-offs in your year and get more income back on your taxes. So I also need to disclose that I am not a tax expert. I am not an accountant. Hey, I am not like giving legal advice or accounting advice. Like I am just telling you kind of like what I do and how I manage it and the facts regarding being a Sensi consultant and what you get. So you get a 1099. I use this sheet, and so what I do is I keep track of all of my receipts and my expenses throughout the year in two different ways. With hard receipts, like printed hard copy receipts, I put them in a accordion style like folder that's like this big. And I usually keep it in my purse. I think it's in the car right now. I forgot to bring it inside. And I have it sorted like gas receipts, travel receipts, food receipts. What else are some other topics? Supplies, things I buy at Hobby Lobby, etc. So I keep all that stuff in an accordion file all year long, broken out by type. You don't have to do that. You can throw them all in a bucket or all in a basket or all in a drawer and go through them at the end of the year, whatever works best for you. But then what I do is at the end of the year, I take all of my receipts. The other thing that I do is, because we do a lot of things digitally, I keep a special folder in my email inbox, and it just says business receipts 2018. And anytime like a receipt that I buy online gets emailed to me, I move it into that folder. And then at the end of the year, all of those are recorded in there, and I have them on file for my taxes. So what I often do is at the end of the year, I go in and I print them all off so that I just have like a hard copy to put all my tax information together, and I'll show you that in a second. So organize your receipts however you want. I like to have an accordion style thing for my hard receipts, and I like to have an inbox folder to keep my online receipts organized. And then at the end of the year, when 2018 is over, I will go in and I will print off this sheet, okay? So this is the sheet I use, and it is in the files of this page, but I will re-upload it for you guys so it's up near the top. But if you were to go to the files of this group and type taxes, you would find it. And it's a blank form, and you put your the tax year at the top, your Sensi income, and then you would total up all of your receipts for all of these categories. Now, here are the categories that are on this sheet that you can write off on your Sensi taxes, okay? So expenses, advertising expenses, craft fair fees, event fees, gifts and awards, meaning if you buy your downline gifts and awards, meals and entertainment. So it might be you go to a team meeting and you all have dinner, or it might be that you're traveling, going to Sensi convention, and you are grabbing a bagel at the airport, or whatever that might be. That would be an example of meals and entertainment. Postage and delivery, every time you mail hostess packets, every time you send a team member something in the mail, every time you drop a basket party in the mail, or send out a hostess packet, like whatever, a recruiting packet. Supplies like Post-it notes, ribbon, tissue paper, bags, candy to go in your orders, anything that's like supplies, like printer paper, printer ink, anything you use for your Scentsy business, you can write that off. Tolls and parking. So if you pay a toll going to your team meeting or while traveling to convention or world tour, that would be an example. Baggage fees, hotel expenses, airfare, event registration and meeting expenses, website fees. So you guys, after your first 3 months, we pay $10 a month for your website. You get to write that off. That's $10 a month you get to claim on your taxes. Legal and professional fees, office supplies. So another example of this would be Sensi success supplies. So every time you buy testers, catalogs, order forms, join brochures, anything from the Sensi success store, those are business supplies that you can write off. Food for open houses. If you host an open house or a party and you put out cheese and crackers and wine and all those things, you can claim that on your taxes and write it off with your business expenses. And then you have bigger items like capital items that might be $100 or more, such as a new laptop or a new phone or a new printer, computer, desk, chair. Maybe you got a new filing cabinet or whatever you might need for your business. Those are all examples. Write it down. Keep all your receipts. You need to have detailed receipts and what it is for, what it's for. Vehicle expenses. So vehicle expenses was another question on the list of questions that I had. And yes, so you can write off your vehicle mileage. You can write off parts of your vehicle loan. So there's a couple of ways to do that. Again, I'm not a tax expert. Ask your accountant or let TurboTax and those businesses kind of walk you through how that works when you do your taxes. But basically, you can write off a portion of your vehicle payment each year because you use your business. So you might use your car for, say, 40% of your like 40% of your vehicle usage is pertaining to Sensi. You could write off 40% of your vehicle expenses for the year, including mileage. So with your mileage, you want to track your Sensi mileage. So track down and put a little book in your car or get a mileage app, and you can track every time you drive to a hostess's house, every time you drive to a team meeting, etc. There's also another way to track your mileage through these accounting means. Again, I'm not an accountant. I'm going to say that 100 times. This is not I'm not speaking legally. I'm just saying I know that there's other ways to do it, like where you can take your total mileage for the year. And if you really do use your car for 40% of all mileage, you can say you drive 100,000 miles in a year, you could write off 40,000 miles. Obviously that's a huge number. You don't drive that much in a year. No one does, but just using whole numbers, you could write off 40% of your mileage, or you can track your mileage individually. There's multiple ways to do that. You can write off a portion of your gas and your fuel that you put into your vehicle maintenance, your vehicle registration. Again, this is just parts of your vehicle expenses, obviously not the whole thing, unless for some reason you have a special vehicle and you only use it for Sensi, then that would be a 100% write-off. House expenses. So if you have a dedicated home office that is only used for Sensi, you can actually write off part of your house bills, including property taxes, your electricity, your oil, your home insurance, your phone, your internet, etc. So if you have a home office and you would need to be able to prove that, like if you got audited, you would need to be able to show them the office and say this room. So like for example, my home has 4 bedrooms and 4 other rooms. So I have a total of 8 rooms, not including bathrooms, in my house, and one of my bedrooms is exclusively for Sensi. There's no bed, there's nothing else in that room except for Sensi products. So I am able to write off 1/8 of my expenses that pertain to my house each year when I do my taxes. So I can write off 1/8 of my electricity, 1/8 of my oil bill, 1/8 of my home insurance, 1/8 of my my internet bill, things like that. And a lot of, like, if you do your own taxes, hey guys, hey girls, hey Joanne, a lot of the time when you if you do TurboTax or if you have an accountant, they'll ask you these questions automatically. It kind of walks you right through it. Another thing that you can write off are charitable donations. So if you make a donation or you do a fundraiser, like if you do a big fundraiser and you write an organization a check, you can write that off as a charitable donation. Your cell phone bill, you can write off a portion of your cell phone bill for Sensi, and there's just lots of ways, like lots of little things. So those are the types of things that are all listed on this sheet for you. And then what I do is I go through and I organize my receipts by the types of claims that I have here. And then you go through, and so you put your Sensi income amount at the top, and then you would put all the total expenses for each category underneath. And then when you're doing your taxes, you would either hand this to your accountant and say, these were my expenses for the year. Or if you're doing your own taxes, as you went through each category in the online tax tool, you would be able to enter all of those items in, okay? So I covered that question. Some people ask, how do you keep track of your mileage? Can I track mileage for everything pertaining to Sensi? Yes. So I recommend either getting a mileage app, which I don't use, or using a little notebook that you keep in your car, or you can do the way where you have, you take your total mileage for the year and write off a percentage of that based on how much you do for Sensi. I personally do not have any vehicle write-offs because I don't own a vehicle. I work for a car dealership and I drive one of their vehicles. So I do not personally write off any vehicle expenses. I don't have any vehicle payments. I don't claim that mileage because it's not my car. I'm not making payments on the car. And so I'm a little bit of a unique situation. But as for you guys, a lot of people keep a little notebook in the car, or they'll write it on the, like if you had a party and you closed it and you like had it all in an envelope, you could write the mileage on that envelope and keep track of it that way. Like there's so many different ways. Do what works best for you. And okay, so then there were some questions about product and things like that. So anytime you purchase product, so if you are buying product for, like you can write off your starter kit, you can write off your scented warmer of the month kit, you can write off any product that is like being used for your business display. You can't write off product that you buy for like an event. So you can't write off, like you can't go out and buy a bunch of wax and warmers for your event display and then write that off, because that's stuff you're gonna be selling and making a profit on. So that's not a tax write-off. But if you're buying like the Scented Warmer of the Month kits, if you're buying gifts, so if you are buying product to give away, like as an incentive, like when I do, like this month, I'm gonna be giving away 2 $50 product bundles. That will be a tax write-off because it's, yes, I'm buying it, but it's also a gift for my downline, okay? And then, let's see. Yes, you can write off anything. You can write off clothing, like if you buy anything from American Hero, if you buy anything from Sensi Success, all that clothing are write-offs. Anything for display. If you go to Office Max and you buy a pamphlet plastic display case, that's a write-off. All of it. Save all your receipts and write it off at the end of the year. This is one of the benefits of owning your own business, you guys, because you get to write all of this off at the end of the year and get money back on your taxes. And then, so here's a few tips of what I like to do. I already mentioned that one of my favorite tips is to have a folder in your email inbox for all of your emailed business receipts. So, oh my gosh, I was just looking for my phone. I'm talking to my phone. I was gonna show you on my phone how I have the email broken out, but I have a separate folder for business receipts for each year. I keep it right in there, and then at the end of the year, I have all my electronic receipts, and then I have an accordion file with all of my hard receipts. Next, another good tip is at the end of the year, when you are looking for what can be written off out of your workstation, go to the orders tab, go to history, and you can actually sort by order type. So you can pick all of your Sensi Success orders. You can pick all of your Scented Warmer of the Month orders. You can pull up all of your fundraisers to figure out how many fundraisers you did and therefore how much money you donated. You would obviously also have a check for all of those write-offs, but that's just an example. Okay, and then the last tip that I have is a lot of us buy Sensi Success items and we attach them to parties because we get free shipping. So when you just place an order with Sensi Success, you pay shipping. And if you attach those Sensi Success items to a already qualifying party with free shipping, you get free shipping. So I like to order my Sensi Success items attached to a party. But here's a huge important tip. If you're attaching those write-off items to your parties, it's gonna get lost because at the end of the year, you're gonna be like, okay, all that Sensi Success stuff, which parties did I attach that to? Like, you have no idea. You'd have to go through every single party and figure out, okay, where was that item? So what I do is I have created a customer, like a dummy customer in my workstation, and it's just called Sensi Success. First name Sensi, last name Success. Anytime I add Sensi Success business supplies and items to a party, I add that Sensi Success dummy customer as a guest, and then I add all of the Sensi Success items to that customer order. Then at the end of the year, I can do a order history search, pull up under the search name Sensi Success. It's gonna pull up every single customer order for that customer name, which is Sensi Success, and I can go through and I can see all of the business supplies that I might have attached to a party throughout the year. Make sense? If anybody has any questions, just comment below and I will answer them for you. I've pretty much covered everything tax related that I can without pretending to be a tax professional or a tax accountant, because that would just get us all in trouble, because that I am not. But that basically covers it. If you have any questions about taxes or about how to manage your taxes, go ahead and ask them in the comments, but I think I did cover just about everything. And like I said, this is my saving grace. This is my go-to at the end of every year when I'm organizing all my receipts and my tax write-offs. And I put it all on that sheet, and then it's all organized for me to do my taxes. You can comment below if you have any extra questions for me, and I will do my best to answer them. If not, I will let you guys go. You guys are having an awesome month, and I can't wait to see how we finish and who our top 10 is in sales and extra recruits that are coming in last minute. So it's very, very exciting. And like I said, this should answer everything you guys want to know about doing your taxes, and it's like 20 minutes long. That's pretty darn good. All right, guys, have a great time. Have a great end of month, and let me know if I can help.